Hello there. Mr. Chews here, and guess who is on my lap? Bear, my soon-to-be 13-year-old peekapoo that is my mascot for my bear algebra. He's my boy. He's been with me for a long time. Will be 13 years old. He's up on my lap, spending some time with his old dad. Let's get to some more SAT review problems in this video 2 of Module 3. So, remember, there are two modules that are already done. Each of them have 27 problems in those practice packets. These problems have been released by the College Board just to give you an idea of the types of problems on the SAT and to help you through them if you need any help with the solutions. Some will be easier, some will be harder. Today's aren't too rigorous, so they require a lot of algebra in today's. There's also some that use geometry and in other math classes that you took preparing for the SAT. The topics vary from one question to the next. I do not group them based on the topics. I just list them, numbers 1 to 27, in the order that they have them. Make sure you like this video. If it's helpful to you, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X. I'm on all of them. And I'm trying just to help math students. So I have a YouTube channel and I post all of these videos on it. So if you subscribe to it, you'll have access to all these videos. There are links around that you can subscribe, or you can type this long at mr.keithechu.com at YouTube in order to get to my channel and subscribe. If you have any questions, because there are no dumb math questions, you can email me at askmrchu@gmail.com. That is my contact information. Now let's get to these four problems. So in number 5, and you can always pause these and work on them if there's something that you need to see if you can do down on paper. They won't take long. So it is a word problem, number 5 is, and it is multiple choice. It says John paid a total of $165 for a microscope by making a down payment of $37 he was going to pay on time, plus P monthly payments of $16 each. So he figured that he could afford paying $16 each month until he had it paid off after paying a down payment of $37. Which of the following equations represents this situation? So pause this, see if you can work it. It's not too bad. So we know that he's going to pay $16 per month, and it asks you for P months. So the number of months would be substituted for P whenever it's paid off. The total amount of these payments would be 16 times P. You add the down payment of $37 to find the total John paid using the expression 16P plus 37. And since he's paying 165, it's the total spent. The equation 16P plus 37 equals 165, which would be choice C. So hopefully you're able to get that one right. Now let's look at 6. If you need to pause it, do so. This is not a multiple choice question. This is open-ended. It says if y equals 5x plus 10, what's the value of y when x is 10? Or x is 8, sorry. Well, you're going to use what's called the substitution property of equality to solve this. And then the order of operations. So I'm going to substitute x equals 8 into the equation y equals 5x plus 10. So I'm just going to put that 8 right here. And so anytime 5x represents 5 times x or 5 times 8 in the substitution property, using the substitution property of equality, that's what the fancy word is that you use in geometry class whenever you're doing algebraic proofs. So you have to use the order of operations and you multiply before you add in the PIMDOS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So 5 times 8 is 40. You add them together, you get y equals 50. Hopefully you were able to get that one correctly as well. So now let's go to 7. Number 7 is a bar graph. In this bar graph, and it's an open-ended question, it has different groups, number of cans collected like in a food drive, The groups are on the x-axis or horizontal axis, and the number of cans is how tall the bar is on the vertical axis. So it says the bar graph shows the distribution of 419 cans collected by 10 different groups for a food drive. How many cans were collected by group 6? This is just analyzing this. So pause this and answer it. It shouldn't take long. It's not too tough. And we'll talk about it after you start the video up again. The groups are represented on the horizontal axis that we usually call the x-axis. The height of the bar graph for group 6 represents 40 cans on the vertical bar, which is usually called on the vertical axis, which is usually what we call that y-axis. So you just look, 6, we go up the 6. This is how you analyze it, and you go over, and it's going to be 40. So hopefully you were able to get 40. All right, on number 8. Number 8 says the table gives a distribution of votes for a new school mascot and grade level for 80 students. So this is at a middle school, and I taught at a middle school 17 of my 24 years. So there were 7 years I was at the high school. The table gives the distribution of votes for a new mascot and grade level for 80 students. If one of these students is selected at random, what's the probability of selecting a student whose vote for a new mascot was a lion? So let's analyze the table before we get into this, and then you can pause this and work on it. Here's the grade levels for the 6th, 7th, and 8th. So if the mascot's a badger, the 6th, 4 wanted badger, 9 wanted out of the 7th grade, and then the 8th graders that were 9 wanted a badger, for a total of 22 people voted for badgers. In the Lions, 6th graders, 9 of them, 7th graders, 2 of them, 8th graders, 9 of them, for a total of 20. For the Longhorn, 4 6th graders, 6 7th graders, 4 8th graders, for a total of 14. For the Tigers, 6 6th graders, 9 7th graders, 9 8th graders, for a total of 24. And we had total 6th graders, 23 voted, 7th graders, 26 voted, and 8th graders, 31 voted, for a total of 80. So the question is, do you remember from your middle school class, you probably did it in the 7th or 8th grade when you first saw it, maybe even a little earlier, probability? Well, the probability of an event, probability of choosing a lion, when they're voting for a lion, is going to be a ratio. You always write a probability as a ratio. So the capital P, and then we could put in parentheses lion here. And that's really the right way to do it. And when I'm done revealing the answer, I'll show you how you would have written that. Probability of a lion would be the votes for the lion over the total votes. So that would be 20, because there are 20 votes for the lion, over our total, which is 80. And we can reduce that. There's several different ways to reduce it. And one way that you're often taught in early middle school or late elementary is to divide the numerator and the denominator by the greatest common factor, the biggest number. Now, some people would tell you just divide by 0. So you could cancel out that 0, or divide by 10. You can't divide by 0, sorry. You divide by 10 by crossing out the 0. That's what I meant. Then you'd have 2 8s. Well, 2 8s end up being 1/4 when you divide that out. So it would be correct answer C, and I'll show you how you would write that out. And no, you cannot divide by 0. The math police would come and arrest Mr. True for saying that. So this is how you would write it. You would write probability of choosing a lion would equal that. So that's how you do that. So hopefully you're able to get all 4 of these. These weren't too bad in the review. All right. So make sure you follow me. It helps me to push out to more people when I have followers on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. There are 27 problems in Module 1 and 2 that are all complete and in playlists that you can get to once you get to my YouTube channel. And here is a link to it. Here's my email address. help me spread the word. I want to help students. I use videos. I use videos with what I call my bear algebra, and Bear's still on my lap. Right, geometry, he's 118 pounds. He's asleep underneath my desk. They sit here and listen to me teach. They know a lot about math, and they must enjoy it because they stay in here. Trey Arithmetic is my 4-year-old tomcat, and he is a sight and will often come on camera as well. I do have math minutes, which are shorter, and I've got my SAT prep, which is what I'm doing now. So I'll see you in the next video, and make sure you remember that Bear and Mr. Chew want to help you. So watch my videos, and we'll see you next time.